When this was over, parallelly, my family, I had left when my wife had a stillborn child, and then later she had an abortion in a Kalyani hospital. So I used to work here, and I was the only person. I used to go take care of her, go by bus, because we did not have any vehicle of my own. I used to finish that morning. I used to go her, come, and 9 o'clock, 9:30, take the bus, attend her. But immediately 12 o'clock, take food to her, go in to hospital. Again 5 o'clock, come here, and 6 o'clock once for all go there. And wherever I went, right from that day, I used to be staying in the hospital, staying there, sleeping there, wherever she was there. And somebody, my friend Mr. Ammana Chaudhary was there, she had to be given a diet. So we cannot get from a hotel. So he said, I will prepare a diet and you can come here and take the diet. We did not have a tiffin carrier at that time. We had to buy small carrier we could have bought. I do not know why we bought. Probably everything was economics, At that remuneration we cannot get immediately. After all a few days of sickness, for that we have to buy a tiffin carrier. So I asked the production manager, Shankar Reddy, I say, you have got any tiffin carrier? No, why? We don't have any shooting now, something, only script discussion is going on. You take our production carrier. The production carrier is a huge thing, but that was only the available. So I took that production carrier, went to Mr. Ammana Chaudhary. The entire diet was only one small beast in a packet. So that was put in that, and we used to take it to the hospital. Then the nurses used to ask, what is that? This is a diet. They are all wondering who is the patient who is throwing so much of diet. So finally we went there. Turns out 3-4 days it was happened, and it was an abortion. She had to go to my place, Gudur, which she refused, because she wanted either to stay with me here, but it was very difficult for her and me to take care of each other. She cannot go to Bhimavaram, it is very far away, mother's place. My brother is there, sister-in-law, they were very comfortable, they wanted to take care of her. But she was very comfortable, she was a sort of inhibition, she could not go, but with great reluctance, cursing me, scolding me, she went there, stayed there, took all that, she recuperated from sickness, and she came back and she was all right. Then again after that she really carried. This time my father-in-law, mother-in-law said, this time after the stillborn child's experience, we do not have this delivery in Bhimavaram at all. Please have it in Chennai. And then in Chennai, who is the best? They said one Dr. E.V. Kalyani in that road going to that what's called flyover, next to Gemini Studios, it goes Radhakrishnan Road, it goes up the beach. There Dr. E.V. Kalyani nursing home, it is there. She is a very interesting story which I have to, because Dr. E.V. Kalyani has come. At the age of 13 or 14 she got married, very young age those days. And her husband, she was coming by train from somewhere out there, and in Basin Bridge, there is Basin Bridge, there is a bridge and there are pillars, and the train goes very near those pillars. Even today I don't know, the bridge has not changed, it is there. And there are a lot of crowd, very few trains, and this person also was standing in the train. And as he was getting, he came out and he hit against one of the pillars and he died. So at the age of 13 or 14, her husband died. She did not marry again. She pursued her studies. She studied MBBS and she became one of the most greatest doctors of the country. Such was as famous. She came there, she started a nursing home and all. Say, it's a life of triumph, it's a life of victory, it's a life of achievement. It is an exemplary life, how a person can achieve in spite of odds, in spite of so many handicaps, in spite of the biggest tragedy she achieved. That was one big example. So she asked, this child, it has to be a caesarean operation. It has to be a caesarean operation because natural birth, we do not want to take a risk. My wife was very particular of a caesarean operation. She never wanted a natural birth because of the previous experience. So, immediately agreed, and the caesarean operation took place. We were all waiting there, and finally the doctor, it is December, I think 17th, I will correctly tell, 1965.
Shakuntala was born.
First
At that
daughter.
time, first daughter.
What date it was?
First daughter. 30th December 1965.
65, 1965,
Yeah.
13th December.
13th,
13th December,
December.
1965, she was born. She came out with announcement, sir, you have a girl baby. So it's all very joyous. We trunk called everybody. It's all completely joy. And she was unconscious, my wife. So after that I went here. She just asked, how is it? I thought she was asking about her. You are perfectly all right. I am not bothered about me. How is the baby? Oh, she is perfectly all right. It's a girl. Tears rolled down. Immediately child was brought there, and there it was the first child where we could see that was born, and we named her Shakuntala. That was the first. It was a very happy moment. Immediately I told Mr. K.V. Reddy, and he said, you please don't worry, you please be looking after that, because we have got only script and all that. Whenever you are possible, it come. Because my mother-in-law had already come here to look after her during the days of delivery. So last 10-15 days she had to come here, she has to look after that. Then after the discharge with the baby, early morning we wanted to go, because the muhurtam was there. Early morning discharge the previous night, early morning 5 o'clock. Mr. K.V. Reddy offered his car. You plagued his car. Kannaya was the driver. He came. I mean, some foolish statements I made. Then he said, sir, you want me to come at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning? Is it, it will be very cold. Is it all right, sir? What Kannaya, we do shooting at early morning. Why cold? It's not for you, sir. It is for the child, he said. I did not know. So I was thinking he was talking about me. Yeah, I totally forgot about the child. Yes, yes, the child, we covered her, everything. In Mr. K.V. Reddy's car, we brought her home. That was the start with the first child. And along with the Krishna Arjuna Yuddham, and this all both having parallelly. And one day Mr. K.V. Reddy came and he saw the child and he blessed. That's one thing.
So many things are there to share with you. So many nuances are there. Romba chinna vishayam, it goes a very long way when I have to talk about him, because there were times when I've seen like ஒரு man எப்படி இருக்கணும் லைஃப்பில், ஒரு ஹஸ்பண்ட் எப்படி இருக்கணும், ஒரு ஃபாதர் எப்படி இருக்கணும், ஒரு grandfather எப்படி இருக்கணும். My father is the best example.
And during that time, we moved from another place to a place called Burkitt Road. That Burkitt Road, there we were searching for a house, because the place where we were staying in that CIT Nagar, that man wanted to sell his house and he wanted us to vacate. So we did not know what to do. One day, one Mr. Pattabhiraman came. He acted in one of the old Tamil films as a hero. He was a classmate of my father. They were all very good friends. They acted in plays together, and he met me. Then what exactly is happening? I am searching for a house. So my house, it is vacant. You come in Burkitt Road. I have got grandchildren. I have got a son. I have got a daughter-in-law. Only one son, and we went there. It is very spacious. There is a small veranda. There is a nice hall. There is another room. There is another kitchen. There is a backyard. The house was very spacious, very good, and we never found such a house previously. Immediately we said, and moreover, he is the friend of my father. So immediately I accepted. He came, a very small amount, at the time about 75, 80, I do not know what the rent was. So we joined that, and in that house, this my first daughter was born. And at that time, Mr. Pingali Nagendra Rao, the writer, he bought one steel chair and steel table and 4 chairs. And he has got a good taste. It's a green chair with a green steel. He also got a green cloth. And we made 2 tablecloths for that, one for washing and one for the ready, 2 cloths, and he got the table and 4 chairs. I just said, I saw the table in his house, because every day we used to take tiffin in his house whenever we went there. And he is a bachelor, he never married. He had a cook, and his cook had a big family, and his cook's family he was to look after. Though he was a bachelor, he is supposed to be a very big family. He was living only for the mother. The mother passed away later. He said, why, you also can take a table? I just smiled. I did not say. Next day morning, a car came and stopped before my house. And I saw Mr. Pingal Nagendra Rao coming in. Oh, I was surprised. What, sir, you have come here? Yes, yes, yes. And somebody, the driver, was bringing out a table and 4 chairs from the dicky, and he came. Another chair. I bought this for you. After wedding, I did not come. I did not give you anything for a wedding. You take this. And the chair, for the table, and not only 4 chairs, with that tablecloth, 2 tablecloths also, he gifted everything. So we were very pleased, and my wife gave a cup of Horlicks to me. So you please sit there. You have a Horlicks bottle in that. That was a very sentimental thing those days. So even today, I have shifted houses. I have changed so much of furniture. This sofa went, that sofa went. So many things have happened. But the table and those chairs live forever. Even today, if you see my house, it was those chairs that will be there, and the table is permanently there. It is. And recently, 2 years back, my wife wrote her autobiography, Sri Kalyaniyam. And entire autobiography, she sat sitting on the table, the chair, the same chair. She was the chair and the table. That will be a remembering of Mr. Pingal Nagendra Rao all through our lives. That was a fine table. That's what happened during the Krishnarjunism period. So this was an incident. So my first daughter was born exactly on 13th December 1965. That was the date of birth, 13th December 1965. And just on the same day, previous day, another child was born. That is the child of one Mr. V.S. Gopalakrishnan. He acted in a number of films. He is a great theatre artist. And incidentally, he was also my college mate in Presidency College. He was in the Presidency College, and he was there. And I asked him, hey, who is there? My wife is there, my wife is there. So the child was born. And next day, just before my child was about to, she was about to give birth to my child, and they are taken to the operation theatre, he came to me. I was just looking worried. He just tapped me and said, just don't worry. This Dr. E.V. Kalyani is not just a doctor, she is an artist, she said. So I remember those words. He is a real artist. So that her operation, everything like an artist she does. So that was a wonderful thing. He told that. And now, after Krishna Arjuna Yuddham, apart from my getting a lot of experience, involvement, and almost in a director's things, one more thing in Krishna Arjuna Yuddham I had to take. Though I was a full-fledged associate, could I immediately direct a picture? I do not know. Probably today, without anything, anybody could direct, but at that time there were some norms. It was the second picture. Probably one more picture should I be there, or probably it is enough. I don't know. I had enough knowledge. Now at that time, Mr. K.V. Reddy had some sort of a problem with his heart, and Mr. S.V.T. Chari, he went to the doctor and he showed. And he said there is some problem and all that. He gave some medicines, everything is all right. Somehow Mr. K.V. Reddy was worried, and his worry was more than his health. What will happen to the movie, the film, if something happens to him? And he came, and one day he made us all sit and told this. I went to the doctor, there is some problem, and if something happens, what exactly should happen? We said, no, don't worry, nothing will happen. All that we said, no, we have to be careful. And he said, there are two things. One is, it's a big film, with Mr. Rao, Nageswara Rao, Saroja Devi and all that, it's star-cast picture. So, if supposing this is delegated to a person who has been associate, probably he is capable of doing that, but the distributors, the industry, they will all think otherwise. Why such a big picture to be given an associate? They cannot give. At the same time, something happens, we have to plan now itself. So, he thought of one idea. One Mr. Kamalakar Kameshwara, actually who is a later relative also, he has been an associate of Mr. KVD right from the beginning, and he himself independently he became a director. He is called Purana Brahma later, and he directed great big pictures. Kamalakar Kameshwara, very big director already at that time. Once when KVD was production manager, Kamalakar Kameshwara was assistant. There was a deal between them. Whoever becomes a director first, the other person becomes an assistant to him. If Kamalakar Kameshwara becomes the director, KV Reddy was promised that he will become an assistant. KV Reddy became a director Potana, Kamalakar Kameshwara became an assistant. So, I will keep Mr. Kamalakar Kameshwara from now onwards in the set every day till the end of the picture. If something happens, he will take over. Such was the responsibility he showed. And we were not happy with that, but he insisted on that. Next day, Mr. Kamalakar Kameshwara came, and Mr. Kamalakar, he was like me, he was associate, he was asking, join in the crowds and all that. I say, you please sit, sir, you are a director, I will do all those things. In spite of that, he used to come. Every day, Mr. KV Reddy used to pick up Mr. Kamalakar Kameshwara, come there, and they used to come together. He gave all the respect and honor a director should get, and they both came. The picture went off completely very well. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to Mr. KV Reddy. He took about 3-4 pictures later, but still it was the responsibility of Mr. Kamalakar. Everybody thanked him, and Mr. Kamalakar went away happily. This is what happened during that time. So, with that instant, Mr. KV Reddy had to go to Vijaya, and he had his own assistants there, Mr. C. Nageswara and all that. Of course, they were all good assistants and all that, but on the creative side, on the involvement side, on the intellectual level side, all that, I had almost become an indispensable part of Mr. KV Reddy. There is no question of his doing some work without anything. Previously, he used to write shorts in English and give it for typing, but he was becoming weak, he was becoming old. So, from what he used to discuss script, Mr. Srinivasa Rao, shall we do, from this, we will take this as a long shot, from this suggestion, we just close, and just within 10 minutes, we used to discuss the shots. I was sitting with the typist and getting all, though there was no Telugu typing at the time, only the English was typed with the space. I used to write with my handwriting. That's how I wrote all the scripts by handwriting. And for giving to the artist, I used to write on a carbon paper, single-handed. So, I wrote all the scripts like that. So, this becomes, it was a great relief to Mr. KV Reddy that so much of work of his, I was taking that. Because the moment he just discussed about shots and all that, I used to take down, I wrote all the shots and showed it to him, approval. No, we can put a close-up here and all that. That's all. So, when he went next year to do Vijaya, he felt that I also officially had to come to Vijaya. Then, but Jayanti Pictures were not able to leave me because they wanted to be officially seen. The only method is I work for both the pictures. I work for Vijaya in the morning, I go at 9 o'clock, work till 10 o'clock, and I come at 4 o'clock, work till 7 o'clock in the evening. This is how. I got salary from Vijaya, I got salary from Jayanti, and Mr. KV Reddy, this time the company car was not coming. Mr. KV Reddy sent his car to me. I used to carry Mr. Pingal Nagendra and Mr. Govi Reddy, and we used to go. That is how it was happening. Now, when we went to Vijaya, it is not a Jayanti's only picture, is a small place, it is a company. Whereas Vijaya Vijaya Productions, 3-4 pictures they will be doing in different languages. Telugu they will make, Tamil they will make, Hindi they will make with Dilip Kumar, Ram Aursham, all those pictures they will be making. So, it is a huge production. So, the appointment matter, automatically the company, I went there. So, he took me to Mr. Nagireddy Chakrapani. He introduced, well, we know him. No. Now I am introducing him. He is going to be a part of Vijaya Productions officially. He will be working as an associate director here. There is an assistant director. Associate or assistant, the title was associate, but the appointment they wanted an assistant to Chakrapani. Then I came to the office. They gave me an appointment letter. So and so Mr. S. Srinivasa Rao is appointed as assistant director to this assistant director. I was about to sign, but to be careful, I just wanted to show it to Mr. K. V. Reddy. He is upstairs in his room. The office was in the downstairs. Now it's all Vijaya Hospital, cardiac department, cardiology department, everything. It was that house where Mr. K. V. Reddy's office was there, and our assistant director's production manager's house, everything was upstairs. So I took the letter and gave it to Mr. K. V. Reddy. And he just made one correction. You get it typewritten again. He said he will be appointed as assistant director. He said assistant to director. 1 2 he added. Assistant to director, we add 2 there. Then they showed there. They were perplexed, but K. V. Reddy's order, nobody can say no. They got it typed again, and I signed it and I showed it. Then he told me, now this is a big place and so many productions will be out there, and these people will want you because they know what sort of a metal you have, what talent you have. The moment you come here, they want to do it. The moment you are assistant director to Vijaya Productions, you will be asked, supposing there is no shooting. Okay, since you don't have shooting, come there and work for that picture. You work for that script. You work for this. Mr. Chakrapani will call. So, will call. So many people will call. So, I do not want to lose my exclusive rights on you, your services for me. So, I want you assistant to director. So, I was only assistant to director K. V. Reddy. That's all. I go assistant. For either assistant, he has to get his permission. So that's how nobody used to call me. Once or twice when he called me, Mr. K. V. Reddy said, I cannot give him services. He never allowed that. He never wanted that to go. I do not know. He wanted to, because he discovered me, he wanted to have my services. The advantage of my talents also he wanted to have. It was quite natural. So I went to Vijaya Productions. So morning there and evening there, and 2 stories. Here, same group. Pingal Nagendra was the writer, Pendial Nageswara was the music director. Only the production managers are different. Here Mr. Shankar Reddy, Santanam, Venkatnarayana, there Mr. Jagannath and Chanapati Rao, Babu Rao and others.